Hello and welcome to Game Week 23 of the Premier League season. I'm Conal McCabe. I'm joined by Lucas Dazinski over here at the Stakehouse to preview everything in relation, looking at the tips, looking at the latest news, and hopefully helping you all back a few winners. Lucas, I'm not feeling the best, mate. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather, but I'm powering in the interest of our fans, our loyal, devoted fans. I'm piling through and I've come up with some great little angles. How are you doing?
Yeah, all good. Managed to actually watch quite a bit of football on the weekend, despite I was being at Centre Parks. But Centre Parks has got a really good sports bar, so FYI.
You trying to get our listeners there? Are you on some commission?
I wish.
Code Lucas29 at the checkout, everyone.
All right, should we get straight into it then?
Dive in. So we kick off with the first game, which is no early kickoff, unfortunately. So you get the benefit of a Sunday night game. So arrange your family schedules accordingly. We start at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, which also gives you more time to get your fantasy teams done and dusted and looking spick and span. We start with Southampton versus Newcastle. What are your thoughts and feelings on this one?
I mean, last week Newcastle just fell apart against Bournemouth, didn't they? Saying that, Southampton gave, I guess, Forest an all right game. I mean, they still lost quite comfortably on XG, but they managed to pull two back. But I can't see Southampton getting a result here. I think they're pretty much down. Yeah, I think it's going to Newcastle win, but I haven't got a bet on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that it was more down to Bournemouth being absolutely insane, more than Newcastle dropping off in that game. Newcastle have been in great form.
Yeah, but like you can't be playing at home
and getting beat 4-1.
And creating 0.69 XG, right? That's like even if a team's playing well, you're playing at home, right? That's
poor,
shocking.
100%. I'm just saying that Bournemouth deserve to take a lot of credit out of that and should be rewarded for that. I do think Newcastle will bounce back again. I think it's a tough period for the promoted sides. As you say, Southampton are in a world of trouble. In terms of betting angles on this game, there is one little one, but I'm not declaring it as an official tip because I need to see the lineup. I don't know if this player in particular will start, but it's Kamaldeen Sulemane, Southampton winger. I watched Southampton play against United a few weeks ago. This kid.
Oh, bloody hell. I really wanted United to lose that.
It was so close, right? But and we deserve to lose it. But this kid tore Lenoy Yoro a new one. He beat him all ends up either way all game. Came into a bunch of very promising positions and ultimately they didn't quite make the most of a lot of them. But he's not that afraid to pull the trigger. He's currently priced at 2.2 for 1+ shot on target. It's also worth having a look at his goals and assists angles, should he make the starting lineup. In the projected lineups on FOTMob, he's not included. So the experts don't actually expect him to start.
Okay.
So I'm not putting it up as an official tip, but my advice to everybody out there is have a look at the lineups as soon as they come live. And if he is included, the 2.2 price and 1+ shot on target should hold up. And at that point, it should, I would suggest, become an official shout at that point. If you want a prediction for the game, I think Newcastle will probably win without a lot of fuss, 3-1, something like that.
Is that captain?
It looks like it has to be for this, doesn't it? Yeah, right. I mean, either that or you're looking at one of the Spurs or the Spurs big hitters at Leicester who are just so poor. Well, you never know. We'll get onto that.
Anyway,
let's talk about Wolves versus Arsenal.
I mean, Cunha might not even be playing, right? I don't know what's going on with him. Either Forest are going to make a audacious bid or not sure. But, yeah, I mean, can't see Wolves getting anything out of this. I think it's going to be pretty comfortable win. Arsenal, maybe by 2 goals or something like that.
Luckily, unlike you, we're recording the podcast quite late this week, obviously at 4 o'clock on a Friday. And unlike Lucas, I have done my research. So I can tell you that Cunha is in the fold for tomorrow.
Is he?
He is, yeah. But Mario Lemina is not.
Well, what do you mean in what?
I don't know whether he's going to be starting, but he's under consideration.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, that means nothing, right? Because a bid can get submitted tonight and get accepted, right? But
of course. No, of course. I'm just saying, as things stand, it looks like he could be still in the mix for it. But here's a question. I mean, like, I've just watched Arteta's conference as well, and there's lots of noise about, look, if the right player, particularly a striker, becomes available, they'll go out and sign him. Why did Arsenal not challenge City for Marmoush?
I mean, why did Arsenal not sign Tony? I mean, there's a few reasons, but I feel like if they had someone like Tony at the start of the season, then they would have been in a really good position, I reckon, now.
I get that. I'm just looking at the season that Marmoush is having. He scored something like, he's only scored 2 goals less than the number of games he's played. He's right behind Harry Kane, who has a field day for Bayern Munich in the scoring charts. He's doing it at Eintracht Frankfurt. He's doing it
Yeah.
in a very competitive league. He was available for £59 million. The fact that Arsenal, it seems like City just walked in and signed this kid. It just seems incredible to me that Arsenal, who are already making signings this summer in other positions, when it's so obvious, anybody can tell you what they need. They need a number 9. They need a goal scorer.
But
It
they
just,
should have known that at the start of the season. Like, why have they not done that there? They can't rely on Havertz playing up top.
correct. He's not a
He
number 9.
dives all the time anyway.
But if you don't get it right at the start of the season, you don't compound it now. Go and buy what you need. This player was on the
Yeah,
market.
yeah, yeah.
He wanted to come to the Premier League. And I mean, I don't actually rate the signing at all. We'll talk more about it during the City game, right? But ultimately, this player would have been a great fit for Arsenal. No doubt whatsoever. And for them to have just missed out on this, I think is unacceptable. What is their recruitment team doing? Was he recommended that Arsenal put a bid? None of this is clear, but it doesn't sound like it. And if not, why not? And that's questions that the Arsenal hierarchy, more than Mikel Arteta for me, need to answer in terms of why that was. In terms of the game, I agree with you. I can't really see a betting angle. I think Arsenal should win fairly comfortably. Wolves do look like they're playing better under the new manager, but it's not really translating into results. And it seems like this would be a tough place for it to
Yeah,
start.
big game.
Let's talk about Liverpool versus Ipswich. How many are Liverpool going to win by?
Yeah, I mean, City managed to smash them, 6-0? I don't think it's going to be that big of a... Well, I don't know. It could be, right? Like, I'm definitely captaining Salah. I got Diaz in my team. But, yeah, I got Liverpool 2.5 goals better than Ipswich. So I expect them to beat him quite comfortably this game. And, yeah, I haven't even bothered looking at angle this one. I think the price is about right.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I've got 4-0 as my prediction for this one. In terms of the only maybe small angle is looking at some of the Salah 2+ shots on target. Even
I mean, surely it's going to be like 3 or something like that. Like,
but you just think this is Salah's last season. How much would he love to go out with a golden boot?
yeah.
He might just be thinking along these lines, and he just might look at Ipswich at home and go,
Is
"This
it going to
the
be his
game."
last season then? That's
Say
not.
again?
Really... Is it going to be his last season? It could
Looks
be.
like it. I mean, there's apparently still far apart in negotiations, right? He's making noises like an agreement is not anywhere near. He's obviously talking to other clubs now, by the way. He's not signed a contract, so
Yeah,
there's
yeah, yeah.
no doubt that other clubs are in his agents here. So I think that he'll want to go out with a bang. Premier League title, Golden Boot winner. He'd love the lot. And I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
him looking
yeah.
at Ipswich is a great chance. So maybe look at the prices on things like Salah Brace if you're looking for an angle in this game, which could be a good shout.
I think it'd be quite low, I'd imagine, but yeah.
No official tips from either of us just yet, but that is about to change as we move on to Brighton versus Everton.
Yep.
I'll kick off with this one. My official tip is under 2.5 goals. If you look, and that price is at 1.96, so just shy of evens. If you look at Everton's record away against the lower sides, you know, the likes of Bournemouth recently in recent weeks, and a lot of kind of fixtures against teams in and around them. I know Brighton are slightly better than that, but the idea is to shut up shop, don't get beat, try and, you know, play for a draw or nick one on the break, that kind of setup. Brighton away is a tough fixture. I think they'll go there with similar mindset, even though Moyes obviously wants to play a little bit more advanced than Dyche did. Brighton, for their part, have struggled to break lower league sides down at home. They drew 0-0 with Ipswich. They had another game recently that they didn't get the win at home when they against the lower side as well. So I think that the even money price on this one at 1.96 is very fair value.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's probably narrow win by Brighton.
Cool.
Happy to move on.
All right, we got Bournemouth versus
Oh,
Nottingham
yeah,
Forest. You've got your eye on this
easy,
one.
easy, yeah. So I was close to tipping Bournemouth against Newcastle on the weekend last weekend, but I was just a bit concerned
Just
about
to
all
let
the
everybody know, when he didn't do that, he was in a paddy for about 6 hours afterwards because he missed out
yeah,
on it.
yeah, just raging at Centre Parks. But I thought with the injuries they have, I didn't really think there was probably value. Didn't think what to expect, but like Bournemouth completely smashed them. Like they played so well. Newcastle weren't great, and also Forest are quite fortunate where they are. So if you look at expected points, they're more like mid-table. They actually got 10 points more than they should. If you look at expected points, whereas Bournemouth on expected points are actually third, but on the table they're seventh. So I'm really confident in this. The way Forest play, they're not creating many chances, but on the break they're finishing the chances, and I feel like they can't continue like this. Bournemouth obviously playing really well. Obviously got quite a few injuries, but I think they've been coping well. So for me, I think this is probably one of my naps for the week, and it's going to be a really good game. Bournemouth minus a quarter, so basically if it's a draw, you get half your money back. So yeah, I think there's a bit of a insurance there, but yeah, I'm pretty confident in this one. We'll see what happens.
Wow. Okay. So we go against each other slightly here. In terms of the way that I look at it, I think Nottingham Forest will go there with a clear plan to get a point here. I think they'll sit in. They've
Part of the
obviously
bus.
a little bit. They've got a really settled back four. Obviously, incredibly strong. Nuno's got them so well drilled defensively. Everton went to Bournemouth recently, tried to do the same. Bournemouth only won 1-0. Nottingham Forest have got way, way, way more about them than Everton do. So I think that it will be a draw.
Draw. Okay.
I think Forest will go for I think Forest will go for a draw, and I think they'll get it. And I think it won't be a high scoring one. I think the game, for two sides doing so well and exceeding expectations this season, I think there will be a little bit of cancelling each other out in this game. And I think that a draw isn't the worst result for either. And I think that's what it will be. You can get a draw and under 2.5 goals, which means that we need either 0-0 or 1-1 at around 3.66, which is not the worst price. So
No,
that is my tip for that one. Biggest game of the weekend is Man City versus Chelsea. I'm just this Marmouche one. Sorry to come back to it, but I have to. Right? Ultimately, City have so many problems at the moment. If you look at the squad, there's either players that are over the hill and far away. There's players coming through that aren't quite there yet.
yeah.
There's a ton of problems. Now I know that he's not having the best season ever, right? But one of those problems is not the number 9 position. Erling Haaland is still one of the best strikers in Europe. He signed a 10-year contract, so he's there for a long period of time. Man City have now gone out and signed another number 9 at £59 million, which means that in terms of financial fair play and
Yeah, I
all
don't
of this
really
stuff,
don't really get that.
it takes money away from other positions that they really need to spend on a lot more. The deal makes no sense for the club. And for Marmouche as well, it doesn't make a lot of sense because he's going to spend so much time either doing the same thing as Alvarez when he was at the club, either playing behind Haaland or playing out wide or playing in a position that isn't his natural position. He could have walked into pretty much any other side in the Premier League as the starting number 9. He's gone to City just when they're about to get hit with with the charges and all of this sort of stuff, and could drop out of the Premier League. I
Are
don't
they are
understand.
they gonna? I think those charges not gonna stick, unfortunately.
Well, they might not, but forget the charges. But even so, to have him go there, it makes no sense for City in terms of spending their money. I don't think it makes a lot of sense for him either. And that's 59 million for City. That I just don't get that signing. They needed to prioritize other areas. It's like Arsenal need a striker, so they've got and bought midfielders.
Yeah.
City need players all over the pitch. They've just got rid of Kyle Walker and so on and so forth, and they've bought a striker. People are the recruitment at the moment doesn't seem to stack up with what clubs really need, and it feels to me like Marmoush is going to spend too much time on the bench, or he's going to play in Carabao Cups, and he's going to do stuff like this. And he shouldn't be doing
You're
that.
going to
Like,
play on a wing.
but
Some weird.
why?
Maybe Pep's got a master plan, right? He's
Maybe.
got to convert him to a DM.
I think Pep's out of master plans at the moment.
Box to box DM, goal
Oh
scoring.
my God.
Gosh.
I mean, yeah, it confuses me. I mean, if you're a number 9 striker, why wouldn't you go and play in your rightful position at pretty much any other club in the Premier League? I don't get it.
Mate, who knows? He might bring back 4-4-2.
Oh, can you imagine? I mean, to be honest with you, that would suit Marmoush. He plays as part of a 2 in a
Yeah.
4-4-2 for Frankfurt quite often. But there's no way that Pep's going to go 4-4-2. Let's be serious.
All right. Anyway, on
I
to
have got a bet,
yeah.
an official tip. City, tough game against PSG. I mean, again,
Yeah.
just collapsed like a pack of cards. They've still got no midfield and defensive stability whatsoever. They cannot be trusted. And again, the prices are just still too skewed in their favour. They really are. And the Chelsea double chance at 1.87. You can look at them on the Asian at plus 0.5. Effectively means the same thing. Double chance is a value shot, 100% a value shot. Chelsea can be quick in transition as well, which will hurt City. So that's definitely an official tip for me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, to be honest. At first, when I was previewing this game early in the week, I was a bit concerned about some Chelsea's injuries, like Enzo and Colwill being out, but apparently they're going to be fit to start. So, yeah, I'd go on the Asian handicap plus a half. You can get around like 1.85. So, yeah, official tip for me as well. For once, we agree.
Nice. Bound to happen then. It's got to be the nap. It's got to be the podcast nap. Tottenham versus Leicester. Do you know, have you heard how they're christening this one? They're christening this one El Sakiko.
Oh, yeah. Bring it all back. Yeah. I mean, they barely beat was it Hoffenheim yesterday they were playing?
Yep, 3-2.
Well, they were 3-0 up and then finished 3-2, right? I mean, they've got so many injuries. Like, the whole thing about Ange, like, I don't think he's a good coach because good coaches can adapt, and he hasn't done that, right? I mean, he's playing the same football. Like, when they're ahead, he's still going out. Like, it's probably a reason why there's so many injuries. Like, they're all playing at really high intensity, and they don't have the depth maybe to do it, right? There's constantly, every single week, there's new injuries. Look, it worked when he was at Celtic, but look, let's be honest, that's a farmers league, right? You got Rangers, all right, and then the rest of the teams are awful. So he hasn't really been like his philosophy. I just don't know if it's enough for the Prem or like a proper league. But saying that, I'd love to see Leicester getting a draw. But I think Tottenham will win this.
I mean, in terms of the Ange one, it's a really interesting debate because you look at Ten Hag when he was at United, and all people ever did was accuse him of not having an identity, not having a way of playing because he chopped and changed so much. Now you've got people like Postecoglou and Amorim slightly differently, but who are very keen to stick to their own styles in terms of ways of playing. And now they get criticised for not being flexible enough. It's a catch-22, and I think it's difficult for managers. When you're in a bad period, people are always going to find a way to get at you. And I think that's what's happening with him. That being said, the problem for me with Ange's strategy is just too naive. Like, it's just, you have a shot, we have a shot. That's his way of playing, and they leave themselves so open with it.
Yeah. Well, exactly. You can't adapt, right? You can't do anything else.
But I don't think that exactly that.
Like, you need a strategy like Frank, right? Like, he knows how to adjust the team, right? If you're playing a good team, 5 at the back, adjust tactics, right? But I don't think Ange knows how to do that.
That Brentford hat's not weighing down too heavily on your head, is it? I think you're right. Frank has got different ways of playing. I'm just saying that, and I think an identity is important, but also Plan Bs and Plan Cs are important. The problem with Ange Postecoglou is not only does he not have a Plan B or a Plan C, but his initial identity plan is incorrect. You just can't do that. As you say, Celtic can play you have a shot, we have a shot, and get away with it.
Yeah.
Tottenham can't, not in the Premier League. And teams know what they're doing. They can sit in, bide the time, and then hit them. So, yeah, it's not It's not sustainable. He's going to leave his position, whether it's this window or the summer or whatever,
Yeah.
but he won't be there for much longer. Having said that, my tip for this game is Madison anytime. He played really well in Hoffenheim. Anytime at
He hasn't
3.6.
really been starting though many games, has he? Like,
Yeah, so it's another good point. You know, if you want to
you
wait for
need
the
to watch
lineups
out. Yeah.
before making this official, then go for it. I have included it in my acca because I think he will start.
Okay.
But he played well in Hoffenheim. He goes through spells, Madison. When he's
I
hot, he's really,
yeah.
really hot, and then he'll go off the boil for months.
Yeah, he
So
played. So he played against Everton 90 minutes, Arsenal 45, and then, but before that, he against Newcastle 28 minutes, Wolves 26, Nottingham 26. So you just got to be mindful.
mindful, it's a good point. I agree with that. Maybe wait for the lineups rather than including it in
Yeah.
the acca as I've done. But yeah, I think that he's a good shot because when he does get in spells, he's unplayable. So that's the shot there.
Where do you reckon they're gonna finish? Tottenham 15th now. That is so bad.
I just think for United and Tottenham, they're really lucky that the three promoted clubs aren't at it, or they actually would both be in relegation scraps. I think Tottenham and United will both finish somewhere between 10th and 15th, and that's all I can say, really. What do you think?
Yeah, mid-table probably I'd say, but yeah, it's a lot of football still to go. Who knows? But
All right. Palace versus Brentford.
easy.
I wonder who you think's going to win this one.
Easy win, Brentford. Nah, to be honest, I think the market's probably about right. I think Palace. I got Palace at 0.44 goals better. I mean, I like to think Brentford's could get a bit of form now and start getting better week in week out. I think at times we're lacking a bit of consistency, but Rico Henry's back. Hickey's going to be back in a few weeks' time. Aya's back in training. But saying that, I think this is going to be tight game. Palace have looked much better in recent weeks. They're getting they had a really poor start, but looking better. But I'm just going to go to the game, enjoy it, not have a punt for once.
Nice. I think that when you look at Brentford's trends this season, top draw at home, terrible away. I think that will start to even itself out as the season goes on. They're not a good enough team to keep up and sustain the home record, and they're not a bad enough team to maintain the same away record. Excuse me. And so I think that their away form will pick up slightly and their home form will nosedive slightly to start evening that out. I can see them going here with quite a bit of an attacking ambition. And I think that this will be an entertaining game, actually.
Yeah.
So my tip is both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. That comes in about 1.8. It's a nice one to add on to the acca. And so, yeah, Palace, as you said very well, are exciting. Glasner's done a great job there to cope with the loss of Elise and leave them in a very respectable position. Right, before my throat gives out, let's go on to Villa West Ham. What you got?
Villa West Ham. Nothing this game, to be honest. Got Villa 1 goal better than West Ham. I feel like they'll probably win this, although, there's that famous stat of Villa post-Champions League not performing well, right? But look, West Ham is a massive job. I've said that from the beginning. Even when Lopetegui came in, right, I said it, it's not an easy turnaround. I can't see West Ham, turning a page and getting a result here. So I feel like Villa probably win this quite comfortably, I'd say.
Yeah, I have a weird...
Bowen's out as well, still, so...
I hear that. I have a weird feeling that West Ham win this game. Villa are terrible after they've left Europe, right? So that's one thing. The second thing is that West Ham obviously didn't play. They've had a little bit more time under Potter
Yeah.
to get used to what he wants and everything. And so I think that... I don't know. There's not an awful lot of logic behind it apart from the price. The price of 6.2 on a West Ham win is very, very high.
I don't see that as value, but
Okay. I'm literally just attacking the price here.
All
I
right.
think that Villa, the record after Europe is not that strong. Um, so yeah, there you have it. Final game is Fulham versus United.
Easy. Easy. I mean, it's got to be Fulham, right? United are just so bad. Like, so bad.
The thing about it is, United under Amorim, they've had a very mixed bag of results. Look at them away at City. Look at them away at Liverpool. Look at them away at Arsenal. Three incredible performances. Incredible. It's the home games that they're finding it really difficult. I think Amorim's done an awful lot right. He made that one silly comment, which probably wasn't the smartest.
Worst team. Worst team in history, right?
Worst team in history. But ultimately, I like the fact he's not hiding from it, though. And I think when he talks about the problems United face at Old Trafford, he's right. Players are anxious. Players are scared. I'm not saying it excuses it, but what it does say about him is he's on the right track to fixing
But
it.
then why are you getting rid of like your best players? Garnacho's probably one of your better players, right?
Garnacho, I'm not convinced about.
No?
No, he's quality and he's sparky and he's
Yeah.
a very gifted player. But he's got no end product a lot of the time. When he's got time to, he's a player very much relying on instinct, and when he's got time to think about it.
Still quite young though.
Yeah, I'm not saying we should definitely be getting rid of him, but I don't know if we are getting rid of him. Amarim was very complimentary about him midweek. I just think that ultimately, overall, Amarim is on the right track. It's a long process. And of course, the media are going to be getting on his back because the media love to get on the back of Manchester United managers. It's just a thing. But I think he's honest, he's transparent. He's getting criticised for style. Unlike Ange Postecoglou, it's not a naive style. It's a tried and trusted style that can work. He has an identity that's very clear. Yet again, he's going to get criticised for that. I personally like him. I think United have to stick with him, have faith in him, and I think he'll get there. I don't think he'll get there in this game, but I think he'll get there. I haven't predicted it. I know that your model says heavily Fulham win, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm backing. I did back Fulham early in the week at a much better price. 0 on Ange handicap. I think I got like 1.8, 1.9, so it's coming quite a lot. But there's still value. So I'd say if you want to get on now, I'll go Fulham minus a quarter. Get like 1.96 on that. So yeah, if there's a draw, I expect Fulham to win this. But if there's a draw, you get half your money back.
Or, of course, you can still take Fulham 0 at the massively reduced price, right?
Yeah, that's 1.63, yeah. Or just go straight Fulham win, right? 2.27. But yeah, I'm tipping minus a quarter.
Fulham are a good side at home. It's
Yeah.
difficult to go there and get a result. I wouldn't be surprised. If you really push me for a decision, I'll try and put
think
my
United
optimistic
have a
United
few-
hat on and say 2-2. But let's.
But United got some injuries at the back, right, after the Europa League game.
Yeah.
And do you think that Almiron's just focusing on the Europa League? Because at least with that, if he wins that, he can get Champions League, right? Realistically, he's not going to get European football by the league, right? So maybe
Correct.
he might
And
rotate a
still
bit more.
And obviously, we've beaten Arsenal in the FA Cup, so it makes sense to have a run at that. So it
Yeah.
might not be the most important game for him. I think that's a fair shot, yeah. Whereas Fulham, this is the only thing that matters to them.
Yeah.
All right, let's recap. What have you done?
So was it Bournemouth minus a quarter? Got Chelsea plus a half and Fulham minus a quarter.
Perfect. Okay. You can combine all three of them probably for around what 7-1, something like that, 6-7-1.
Yes, something like that.
Choose to do it on 365, something like that. For me, I've got, as I say, keep an eye on the Southampton team news for Suleimani. I've got Brighton Everton under 2.5, Bournemouth Notts Forest draw and under 2.5 goals. Draw and under 2.5 goals. Chelsea double chance away at Man City. Maddison anytime for Tottenham versus Leicester, pending him starting. And Palace Brentford both to score and over 2.5 goals. And the Maverick selection of West Ham to win away at Villa. So that comes to an acca of 384-1. So
Good luck.
printing money, I reckon. So
Yeah,
go and buy the new car right now. There's our tips. Let's see how we get on. We'll try and be as regular as we can with these podcasts. Obviously, in terms of game weeks that run into each other and tie in very closely, but we will pledge to do
Yeah.
as many as we can. Hopefully, we won't sound as fluey and as run down on the next one as well, off the back of a big work event that we've just been to. So, but yeah, we still wanted to get the tips out for you guys. So hopefully, you can bag a few winners. So thanks for listening, and enjoy the weekend fixtures, and we'll see you next time.
So yeah, happy punting.